Sorry for the delay. I'm sorry. I was trying to get my tablet together. I know I said 7:30. Unfortunately, my tablet isn't charged up. And I don't know if I can like have conversations with people while I go live on my phone. But I was trying to use my phone in order to basically get people to call in, and then from that point you guys can like voice your opinions and stuff. So I am sorry for the delay. I like I said before, I was trying to charge my tablet, get my tablet going, link up my tablet to YouTube so I can go live with you all and do my thing, but my tablet is just acting stupid. So I apologize for the delay. It's always some technological bullshit, and it's always some extra nonsense that's always delaying my process, like hoes who want to be claimed as, verified when they're really not, and they just lucked up. But anyway, we're going to talk about polygamy, basically. I was going to set it up to where I was going to do my tablet, and I want to have like discussions like this because I love doing my tarot readings, and I'm going to continue to do that. But I feel like I want to basically like talk about having different topics to discuss, because I've been seeing like other YouTubers, like, there's like Pharaoh, there's like all types of dudes out there that are on some, excuse me, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to any of those people, or even Pharaoh, he's a good person. But they speak on, talking about the black woman is God, but then when it comes down to aspects of, their own preference in polygamy, I just kind of feel like it's very one-sided, and they don't really have a platform to where other people can kind of like challenge them, I guess, or challenge the idea of what polygamy is or how women feel about it. So, again, sorry for the delay. It's just that I was trying to get my tablet in order and basically see if I could use my tablet to go live, and then have you guys call through like Google Chat or like Skype or something, and then basically say how the fuck y'all feel about the topic. I'm gonna be doing things like this, like doing little topics, talking about the news and different things like that, because I feel like I want to create a platform or a forum where people can have an open discussion with me. It's just that probably by Thursday, I can get my tablet together and we can talk about other things like the murder hornets and stuff like that. And I can get people to call in and voice their opinion, or we could just have a discussion. So that's what I was trying to do. But let's get into the topic, for instance, okay? Because like I stated before, a lot of conscious people, they're like, oh yeah, the black woman is God, right? So the whole notion, and the reason why they say this, and I'm just going to break this down for y'all real quick. They talk about the black woman being God, or just women in general being of God, of essence of God, okay? So basically where they're coming from with this, it's not even a belief, it's factual, okay? In the mitochondrial DNA of the black woman specifically, I'm just going to use that as an example because I am a black woman. In the mitochondrial DNA of the black woman, about 99.8% of her DNA is related to everything on this planet and in the universe, okay? So that means that when you are looking at Asians, for instance, you can trace their DNA back to the black woman. When you're looking at all these other races, other species, everything on this planet, water, grains, you can do sand, you can do bananas, you can do practically anything. It is all related to, genetically related to the black woman, okay? So that's number one. This is something that I actually researched and discovered for myself to awaken my own personal consciousness in order to understand myself as a black woman, right? And I've even gone through the process of like looking over history, okay? Because we seem to have like this commonality of history that happens where basically it just seems like the woman or her point of view seems to be drowned out over the years, okay? And it's still drowned out in the 21st century. And the reason why I'm stating this is because, as I stated before, I give a lot of props and respect to the men, to the woke, conscious men who put out information and true information about health and about the Black woman and how she's God and how all of these aspects are related. But here's the part where things kind of get misconstrued when we're talking about women and polygamy. And I'm not saying and speaking for every woman. I can only speak for myself. And I wish that I could have had my tablet together so that way you guys can like call in and voice your opinions, and I could use my phone to have you guys voice your opinions. I don't know if that would work if I were to do that. If you guys were able to call in and do that through Queen Prodigy 369 through Google Chat and Skype, I don't know if it might work. And I could put people on speaker. I don't know if the live will still record it on my phone. That's the reason why I was trying to get the tablet together. But anyway, back to the point. So basically, we're looking at history, right? So history basically says Black woman is God. She created universe. She created different civilizations, different things like that. Men come in and say, okay, yeah, but I believe that I should have more than one wife. Okay, cool. That's fine. So be it. Different cultures have done it. It's in the Bible, all types of stuff. Absolutely. I just kind of want to talk about pros and cons, talk about my own personal opinion about it, and explore that, and also look at the history of it. Now, if the Black woman is God and she's created civilizations and she's created pre-dynastic history, and there's actual artifacts to where it actually shows when it comes down to relationships, when you look at certain statues and when women were actually running civilizations for the most part, she had one partner. And even, I'll just use an example. In Egyptian culture, there's a statue, pre-dynastic statue, okay, of a woman. She's sitting upright, kind of like how the Egyptians sit upright. She has her arm around her husband saying, this is mine. This is my man. You understand what I'm saying? Not the other way around where he's kind of making his claim on her. No, they're in a statue together and her arm is around him saying, this is my man. So basically, the evolution of having more than one wife began to evolve and change when the patriarchal aspects of history began to evolve. I feel like I need to explain this because I like talking to smart people and I like people to understand where I'm coming from. So basically, when things started to flip on itself and the males started to dominate kingdoms and different things like that, like even in Egypt, they would have multiple wives. So let's see, for example, Ramses. He had his main wife and then he had other concubines and wives underneath her. The reason why I'm explaining this is because a lot of people be like, oh, well, I think that, polygamy is a good thing. I think that it's a good thing because it gives the aspect of being able to, raise a family, for instance. There's more income in the household. There's, more ways to support the family. There's more ways to do different things and aspects of providing unity within the family when there is multiple women, multiple men, however you want to do it, in a relationship or in a situation to where people can grow together, right? Okay, absolutely understand that. More people, more income support, probably more family support, maybe, okay? But I'm just kind of speaking from an aspect of a female because I'm thinking about the biological aspects of how women are specifically, okay? Now, I'm just going to tell you, you can go ahead and research this. You can look this up. There's videos all over the place. Women are naturally, okay? And men can be this way too, but women, for the most part, are naturally jealous, okay? And there are videos where you even see little girls with their daddies or whatever, and some girl trying to kiss up on her daddy, and she trying to push the bitch away, like, and she a little two-year-old little girl, like, get the fuck away from my daddy, bitch. We are naturally possessive creatures, okay? So when people are sitting here talking about, oh, the Black woman is God, and then they say, yeah, but but I'm the king and I want to have multiple wives and different things like that. Well, if the black woman is God and she's the one that creates civilization, shouldn't she be the one to determine how the system operates, or how we vote, or how the planet is supposed to be functioned, instead of having a complete dominated aspect of male energy to dominate her rights for her body or her opinion when it comes down to marriage and relationships? I find that to be a bit strange. It's not bad for a girl to be a little overprotective. Okay, gotcha. But somebody was trying to say to me that since women act jealous or they get possessive, that basically that's something that they need to get over and accept polygamy as it is, so that way black men can have multiple wives, okay? Granted. So let's just point it down like this. Like I stated before, that's a biological aspect of ourselves that we have, that we are naturally prone within ourselves to have, period. Even in some households, mothers and daughters clash because they can never be two queens. I'm sorry, let me read this. There can never be two queens. Even honeybees do this. We don't try to do it sometimes. We don't try to do it just sometimes. It happens. Absolutely. So that's what I'm saying. Women are very territorial. We are very possessive. And I just kind of feel like, yeah, we want to feel like we're the center of the fucking universe. And so in my personal opinion, I feel like in aspects of polygamy, and I've seen this before and actually, did some research on people who have come from polygamous families. And they said that when it comes down to their aspects of marriage, and this is a man that's actually said this, I believe Tasha K, her husband was the one, because she asked him, she's like, oh, well, wouldn't you want to have multiple wives or whatever it is? And he's like, no, I came from that household, I came from that family, and there's a lot of jealousy and a lot of animosity, and it's just not a good dynamic, okay? Going back to Ramses and his wife, his first wife, okay? He married his childhood lover, okay? His first wife, created a whole temple for her, created beautiful, just beautiful images for her, made her into a huge statue, glorified this woman, okay? Glorified her, and she wasn't able to actually go inside of it because she actually was sick and she didn't have the ability to actually go into the temple itself, okay? So here's the point to that, because as I stated before, he had multiple wives or concubines, and he had a first wife, right? But even if you have your first wife, she is still going to, I guess you can say, dictate or have aspects of control and dominance in the relationship over any of the other women that come after her. She's going to be his first love, right? And if I'm not mistaken, I'm assuming that when you procreate with someone, you have to be focused on one person at a time, right? Even though you can probably have multiple people, multiple wives, different things like that, you have to focus specifically. As much as you would like to think that humanity is, I guess you can say, multitasking on that aspect, we're not. We're not at all. Only 2% of us are multitaskers. So when you are engaging in intercourse, you have to be laid down with one person at a time. You just can't, you don't have two things to go like that, okay? So that's even in biology itself. So that's the reason why I just kind of feel like when it comes down to situations when men want to say, oh, black women is God, but I deserve to have as many women as possible. Did you ever ask your first queen, the first woman? And there's maybe there might be one woman or one wife that you might have, or one girl that you might have that's like, yeah, I'm cool with it, I'm down with it. I'm just speaking for a woman that's just like, nah, I'm not fucking down with it. Because biologically, it states and it shows that you can only procreate with one person at a time. It states and it shows that in a matriarchal aspect of what is happening in the female dynamic, that basically when women were running cultures, when we were the ones that were in governments, in science, in political aspects, also in family contexts, it was a monotheistic aspect in relationships. There were no multiple wives or multiple anythings until men wanted to dominate and say, we're gonna take over. And keep in mind that we existed and procreated without men, and actually gave birth to the civilization of men to exist on this planet. And this is actual fact, okay? when you're looking at Lucy, or you're looking at the black mitochondrial Eve, those two aspects, Lucy comes from South Africa, mitochondrial Eve, she comes from Africa, okay? I mean, sorry, Lucy, she comes from South America. But they're both black women that existed on this planet long before men ever existed. So that's why it's kind of confusing to me, to where I just kind of feel like when I look at situations where people are promoting polygamy in a strange aspect, because I look at those women specifically and I'm just like, in my opinion, I feel two types of ways about it. And I'm just going to say it. And y'all can share y'all opinion below. Maybe some people disagree with me, some people don't. But I just kind of feel like those women have low self-esteem. I look at situations with like Brother Polite, for instance, and I can see where he has his first wife and then there's someone else who's joined into the relationship, and they are doing an interview and talking, and how the other woman's talking about how she met him and how things went down, and then she became down with him and everything. I'm looking at his first wife and she's just like completely like miserable. That's how I feel. I mean, I think she looks miserable, in my opinion. I just feel like there's something to where I just can't resonate with that. How the black woman is God, but you don't respect her opinion when it comes down to relationships, or when it comes down to respecting her personal choice. And I just find it to be bullshit that men talk about this, but it's just a complete contrary to what's going on. You have to understand and respect that women are the way that's final. Are that way that's final. Let's see. Someone out of the polygamous relationship is always going to feel left out, I believe. And it's so crazy because even though this is like a fictional, show that I was watching with American Horror Story, I think some aspect was like that in an asylum. And this guy, he was married to his first wife, a black woman, in a racial relationship back in like the 60s or something, very taboo, controversial. He gets put into asylum for something that he didn't even do. And then he meets this other white lady and they basically have a baby. He thought that the lady, his first wife, was dead and gone. He goes back to the house after he gets out of the asylum with his new chick. And they basically are trying to create a melded family with the circumstances that they have going on. Basically, the first wife is completely upset about the situation. It seems like the husband and the other chick, they're cool. Like, they're cool with the family dynamic. She's uncomfortable with it. And she feels like things are different. Things are not the same. And she's not comfortable with what's going on, but did her best to adapt to the circumstances. Basically, the girl goes into a damn fit and then acts, like literally uses an axe and basically offs the other chick, the other white chick that came into the relationship all of a sudden. And I'm not saying all relationships are like this, but even like I said before, with dynamics to where I look at children who've been involved in situations like that, where people have had multiple wives and things like that, there's always aspects of jealousy, aspects of favoritism. There's aspects of where people, again, have to worry about disease. And keep in mind, there's different aspects of polygamy that I want to look at too. There's aspects to where people are actually respected and they have like a legitimate marriage in different cultures, okay? I feel like maybe that's the most sustainable thought process in polygamy, or the most respectable version of it, in my opinion. Would I do it? Absolutely not. But when you have these rappers, for instance, and this, you know what I'm saying? I was just talking about this earlier, so let's talk about it. We're talking about rappers, how these rappers have multiple women, okay? They have multiple girls that they sleep with, and they're very much in a, I guess you could say, open polygamous relationship, or however you want to call it, right? So my thing is this: when you're sleeping with so many different people, and then you also see that people got like a shit ton of corona going around out here, different diseases and things like that, and you messing around with all these different females, how can you keep track of where all your hoes is and who they fucking with, and who's bringing back shit to you? That's what I want to know. I guess that's the thing that I just don't understand, is that if I'm supposed to be in a polygamous relationship with somebody, would I have to basically sit there and worry about who you're sleeping with? Because even if you say, oh, I'm sleeping with Becky and Molly and Shauna and all these different people, but how do I know that Becky, Molly, and Shauna ain't fucking around on the low with some other dude when she ain't with you? And then that puts my body and my life at risk because I don't know what's going on or where you're going to or who you're being with at that. I find that to be a bit strange, you know, that people don't actually consider their own personal safety when it comes down to polygamous relationships. Do people get tested in polygamous relationships? Do they say, oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm thinking about taking on another wife, right? I'm thinking about taking on another wife, or I'm thinking about joining a family or being with a man who has a polygamous relationship or is in a group relationship, right? So do all these people get tested? These are things that I want to know. I mean, I wish other people would come in here so I can just like see if there's other people that challenge it, because it's such a good topic. I might be wrong, but I've heard even sex itself carries different spiritual aspects. It's like passing on energy, and sometimes the wrong energy can be passed. You are absolutely 100% correct, okay? Like I said, we was sitting there, we was talking about a rapper, because I went live because hoes want to check and try to test my gangster when it comes down to meeting people and acting like they have superior titles when they was just hoes, okay? Let's talk about this person, for instance, because I'm just about to get into it. Because like I said, I'm tired of playing with people, and I'm finna talk about like the same shit that I was talking about on my live, okay? So basically, everybody knows that I have an affiliation with a rapper, or I've met, I haven't met the rapper himself, but I've actually met people related to the rapper, or people associated with the rapper. I'll just say it like that, okay? And had experiences with meeting people. Now, one female who seemed to luck up, get pregnant, right? She basically is trying to tote on the internet like, oh yeah, I'm his only bitch. He was the love of my life. I'm the love of his life. All this other bullshit, right? But bruh sitting in the spirit realm telling me, like, nah, bruh, that's not what the fuck it was. Like, I had multiple girls. I had different girls that I was seeing at different times. I was doing my motherfucking thing. Whatever this bitch trying to say is a bold-faced motherfucking lie, basically, okay? And then not only that, it was confirmed through people that are close to him that said, ho, you lying. That's why you got that neck tattoo. And that's why basically you was a part of his cult and you a hoe. She don't want to accept that. She wants to make it seem like she was his wife making decisions with him, or else she would have been on paper, right? Or else she would have inherited everything when this man died. So all I'm saying is that if I have proof and this man is telling you in his bedroom that, bitch, y'all ain't even together, both of y'all just fucking, why are you mad? How can you get mad? You understand what I'm saying? Like, play your position as a hoe if that's what you're doing. That's why I can't really get down with that. I kind of feel like that's a situation to where even if somebody is trying to manipulate a situation and say, oh, well, you know, I know that this rapper or this person sleeps with all these different women, but I'm going to try to manipulate people because I'm having this person's child, and using some form of manipulation to say, I was the love of his life, or he's the love of my life, and I'm the only one. No, you weren't. Stop lying. This is what I'm saying. That's why I just kind of feel like when it comes down to relationships, I feel like I need to be in a position to where I need to know somebody's mind. You understand? Like, yeah, sure, you're cute, you sexy, whatever, that's nice, but you could be dumb as shit. And people impregnate bitches all the time and regret who the fuck they impregnated 24 motherfucking 7 because they cannot stand the fact that they are involved or dealing with this person on that level. And like you said, speaking of spiritual energy, you know what I'm saying? Would you be in a position or want to be in a situation to where you've had multiple chicks that you got on the side, you ain't claiming nobody, right? You're saying straight up, I'm doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my thing. I ain't claiming none of these hoes, nothing like that. I'm just doing my thing, sleeping with different females, right? And then you find yourself getting someone pregnant and then realizing that you have to share your energy with this person through another being for the rest of your life. Because it's not about the fact that you're having a kid. Sure, you might love the child, but do you really love that person? Do you really know that person? Does that person really know who you are mentally? That's all I'm saying. I just find it to be a bit complicated when it comes down to shit like that, and I'm not with it. That's all. Let me see. Right, high people. I don't know. Women could have have a sacred relationship with a man when it's more than one of them. Aren't they passing trauma through intercourse? Oh my God, that is a true fact, Maya. People are passing energy and trauma through intercourse. Okay. Like I said, people can put titles on things. Maybe there's aspects to where relationships, there can be aspects to where people are trusting of each other, and it can work for certain people. I just don't trust people personally. I just don't feel like it's okay for a man to say, oh yeah, this is what it's going to be, and we're all going to be in this polygamous relationship together. But you're telling me that I have to risk my body. I have to risk my body, and I have to risk what this person is doing that I don't know what she's doing on the low when I'm not around or what's going on. I don't find that to be fair. Then next thing you know, if you're in a polygamous relationship and say somebody steps out because they feel left out, and then they come back into a situation because they've cheated, that means that let's just say that there's a man, right? And then the man has like 3 wives, and one of the bitches step out basically and sleeps with another man and basically comes back and contracts AIDS or contracts the HIV virus and basically lays down with the husband. That means that husband is going to be a carrier and then pass it to his other 2 wives, right? So that's something that basically people are telling me that I have to be in a position of risking my life to accept within a polygamous relationship. I'm really trying to understand this. I just don't get it. I just kind of feel like probably men are just caught up in their fantasies and not really thinking about the consequences of this. And it's irresponsible, in my opinion. I find it to be extremely irresponsible. Say it, queen. They don't know, they don't care. Yeah, they don't be thinking. You're absolutely right. They don't be thinking. Hi, queen. Positive energy and all the chat. Thank you, boo. Hi, how are you? What's good? Thank you guys for joining. A woman in Africa had 34 kids by one man, and he ran off with the second wife and abandoned her 34 children. Wow. See, this is what, first of all, she should be taking his ass to court. This is the shit that I'm talking about. Like, how is it that men are just like, how can they do, that's just fucked up. I find that to be fucked up. You basically abandoned your first wife, impregnated her, and had 34 children, and then run off with the second wife. Basically, abandoning your first wife. I'm really trying to understand that. And this is why I just kind of feel like women really go through aspects of dealing with low self-esteem when they put themselves in situations, in polygamous situations, in my opinion. That's how I feel. I feel like women are not considering their own personal opinions and what it is that they want, even if things are custom, or even if they're trying to keep a man and they're trying to be happy with this man, they're going against their own personal intuition and putting themselves at risk because of the fact that they don't want to lose a man. Really? I find that to be very disturbing. And the only reason why I keep feeling like people are promoting polygamy is because the majority of the black men in this country are locked up and locked away, or probably dealing with interracial relationships at that. And then not only that, the men that are dealing with interracial relationships, they often cheat and then date a black woman on the side, which I find to be funny. My dad was kind of a polygamous, a player dog. The lady would basically bend, would bend what they would normally pick just to have him. So I can relate to everything you said or what you're saying. Damn. And like I said, my dad was a player too, but see, my father married my mother. My father married my mom and was with my mom, and then later they divorced, and then he moved on and he was being a big ass hoe. and that ain't got nothing to do with her. But that was a monogamous relationship, and he was committed to my mother, okay? And then he decided, you know what, this is not working for me. Maybe it don't work for all men. Maybe it don't work for all people. And they run off, and he didn't go marry nobody else. He was just out in the streets being a hoe. And I understand that. But again, he didn't bring that bullshit back to my mama and tried to put her body at risk and tried to affect my mother because of his indiscretions and what he chose to do in that relationship. People are like, oh, well, with polygamy, it's like, it's better to have a polygamous relationship, because then if you have a polygamous relationship, then you don't have to worry about cheating. I don't think that's true at all. Not at all. I think cheating happens regardless of if you have multiple wives or not, because you can meet somebody and then fall head over heels in love with them, or just be infatuated with them and sleep with them. And as I stated before, possibly put them at risk when you're going home to your other 3 wives at home. So I'm really just trying to understand it. I just don't get it. It makes no sense to me. So I just kind of find it strange that all these conscious niggas talking about, and like I said, I was arguing with people and they were just like, somebody was just like saying, basically, this is how it's supposed to be. This is how it is in African culture, right? That's the argument that people will make, is that, oh, this is in African culture. Polygamy is in African culture. When? Are we talking about polygamy being in African culture when men are governing and telling how women are supposed to run their families and dominating running the families? Or are we actually looking into pre-dynastic history where women were running the show because we came before you? We women came before you, so why shouldn't we be the ones that dictate the law like we did during the pre-dynastic eras and only had one husband? But you can't respect that. Anyway, I feel like it's something personal, and I need to like kind of get that out, because I'm just like, I'm so over it. And personally, I'm like not interested in dating in the 21st century, to be completely honest with you, because people scare me, to be quite honest. Like, people just scare the fuck out of me. Anyway, right, that's how I feel. I guess I'm going to stay ignorant to polygamy. The benefits are not overwhelming. Interesting. The government gave out $2 trillion, yet they still act like they can't create male birth control. They stay making baby mamas out of women. That's what I'm saying. And then even if you're in a polygamous relationship and you're married to your first wife, and I don't care what you say. I mean, maybe there's laws where maybe in other countries they'll acknowledge a polygamous relationship for first wife, second wife, etc., so on and so forth. But there's rankings to this shit. Like, there's ranks to this shit. It's kind of like dealing with Akhenaten, for instance. His mother came from a concubine, okay? And I believe it was Akhenaten's, no, I'm sorry. Let me correct that. It was Tutankhamun, who actually came from a concubine mother, first and foremost, okay? So Akhenaten was married to, oh my goodness, Nefertiti, okay? And they had daughters, right? But for whatever reason, laws changed in Egypt. And initially, no, what it was is that he was actually going to make his daughters co-rulers of Egypt. The priesthood went through the process of trying to eliminate Akhenaten and his philosophy on monotheism, and basically said that the only way that anybody can govern and rule is if he passes on a male heir. So what they did was they eliminated Akhenaten and they got rid of Nefertiti, and basically they took Tutankhamun, okay, and put him on the throne to make him go back to the aspects of how the priesthood wants male dominance to run in Egypt, right? And eventually they ended up killing Tutankhamun because he was still trying to instill the ways of his father. As I stated before, his father, Akhenaten, wanted to pass on the reins to his daughters to get it back to the matrilineal aspect of religion, or get back to the monotheological aspect of dominance for women, right? And allowing them to put the matriarchy back into term. Because a lot of people are like, oh, Akhenaten only worship the sun and everything's under the sun. Actually, it's pretty true. Everything is under the sun. But that means that it would eliminate all of the popes. It would eliminate all of the middlemen in between and all of these different shrines that were making money off of the people. He still acknowledged Hathor as the creator goddess and still kept Ra or Aten, however you want to call it, into position as the sun, right? Okay. And then he was planning on using the aspect of using Aten or using aspects of the sun and Hathor to the preliminary construct of putting his daughters into position to ruling Egypt. But the priesthood did not want that because they wanted to keep it male dominated, patriarchal. They wanted to keep making money like they're doing today in all of these different popes, all of these different shrines, all these different places that you see in Europe right now. They've taken that from that specific old patriarchal construct in order to dominate women, to dominate land, to dominate everything. Okay? For instance, let's talk about this. People talk about the creation story, right? In the original creation story, or the common creation story that people know, is the common creation of Adam and Eve, right? People talk about Adam and Eve all the time. They know the creation story of Adam and Eve, okay? But a lot of people don't know about Adam's first wife. Does anybody know who Adam's first wife is? I want to see if anybody knows who Adam's first wife is. If you guys can say who Adam's first wife name is. Because then I'm gonna get into some history about Adam's first wife. Okay, Hi says Lilith. Thank you, Hi. Lilith was Adam's first wife. Number one, first wife. Does anybody know? And I'm gonna tell you here's why Adam and Lilith fell out. Okay, here's why Adam and Lilith fell out. Okay, so basically Adam was like, yo, Lilith, you know what I'm saying? We need to come together, procreate, make little humans, and basically, populate the world because that's what we were created for, right? And so Lilith was like, yeah, we could definitely do that. Let's definitely do that. But I mean, I would like to be on top, if that's okay. Adam gets into his ego and says, no, I'm the man. I'm supposed to be on top. So basically Adam wants to do it missionary and Lilith want to ride. You know what I'm saying? She wanna be on top. But Adam is pissed off because he feels that since he's a man, he wants to have dominance over Lilith, right? So they get into an argument and basically she takes it up to God and is like, I don't find this to be fair. Me and Adam are both made from the same dirt, the same dust that you created us from. I just want to be on top when I'm procreating with Adam. And basically God, or whoever this entity is, whenever the Bible was altered, says, no, follow your man. You're supposed to be submissive to him. And you know what Lilith does? Basically, Adam attempts to rape Lilith. Not only that, he attempts to rape her into submission. Okay? So he attempts to rape her into submission, and she is not getting any help from God. She's not getting any help from anyone. So she gets up and she runs out of the Garden of Eden. Me personally, I don't believe that she ran out of the Garden of Eden. I think that she just hid herself in another part of the Garden of Eden in order to get away from Adam, because he was constantly trying to control her feminine energy. He was trying to control her instead of treating her as an equal. Even though she's more than his equal, she can give birth to babies, which men cannot do. Do you know that the female body still has the capability to be asexual and procreate with its own self in order to birth babies into the world? That's why you see different conceptualized ideas of Christ and how she was able to take on the Holy Spirit and give birth to Christ. There's a video out there where they actually took the cloth, right, from Jesus's blood, okay? And they found only, because there's 23 chromosomes, right? There's 23 from mom, dad, etc. Okay? They only found 23 chromosomes that come from the mitochondrial DNA from the mother, plus one Y chromosome to determine that he's a male. And this is not usual that happens in the human body, because we need 23 from our father, 23 from our mother. So anyway, this exists. He exists, and basically a virgin birth occurs. And virgin births still do happen to this day. That's the thing that's so funny, is that they say, like I said it before, black woman is God, right? But how are we able to live longer than you? How are we able to procreate without you? But yet you still want to tell us what to do with our bodies, when to take birth control, when to have birth, when to give birth, when to have abortions, how to marry, and how to live. But you're trying to tell me that I'm supposed to be submissive to you? I just find that to be a bit strange, because I'm just like, none of that shit makes sense to me. If I was living, I would probably be like, yeah, fuck this shit. I'm not playing no games with y'all. I ain't doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not playing no games with y'all. I do not want to be a part of any of this shit, because you do not respect my opinion, okay? So then Adam turns around. Lilith says, fuck you, I'm leaving you, basically. She goes and she does her own thing, and they try to demonize her. And funny enough, her name translates into an owl, okay? Into a night owl. They try to demonize her name. That's what they're going to try to do, because she wasn't willing to be submissive. She decided to become one with nature and tell Adam to go fuck himself, okay? So moving on from that point, Adam says, well, fuck it. She's not going to follow my directions and what I want to do. God, I want another wife, right? So then they create Eve. So they take Eve and create from a rib or some bullshit, whatever they say. Some genetically modified version of a woman through a man to create a woman, right? So then it goes into the story of, okay, well, boom, here it is. So God's like, all right, now I want to make sure that you guys aren't eating from the tree of knowledge. You guys can have all the fruit in the world. Y'all can have all these vegetables, all these different fruits. Whatever you do not eat from the tree of knowledge, right? And a lot of people are asking, oh, what is this tree of knowledge? Because people think that it's a figurative tree, okay? It's a figurative tree that they're eating fruit from. No. I'm going to explain to you exactly what it is. So basically, then we see this aspect of the snake. Some people say it's the devil. Some people feel that it's Lilith that actually transformed herself into the snake and got back into the Garden of Eden, right? To talk to Eve, which would probably make sense, because she's probably like, yo, this bitch dumb as fuck, and I really don't care, right? So let's just go with the hypothetical point of view that this snake or whatever is Lilith, okay? And she comes back in and she says, oh, hey, guess what? I have this hidden knowledge that the gods don't want you to know. Because when you go to this place and you actually discover that you can be your own God and procreate and survive, or have your own wisdom and knowledge, you know, without someone looking over you, would you do it? Right? And Eve gets curious. She's like, yeah, of course. I want to know knowledge. I want to know what this means, right? So she wants to know what's the tree about. So I'm going to tell you guys, it's not a general tree. I study a lot of mysticism. I study a lot of different aspects of mysticism when it comes down to the Bible or different things like that. The tree of good and evil, or the tree of knowledge, is actually coming from learning about. So basically, I'm going to just get to the point. It's basically about oral sex. And it's about sex and oral sex. You're not supposed to eat from the tree of knowledge. It's only supposed to be from you know, a sacred procreation between a man and a woman, when God tells you that it's okay to procreate, basically. And so they decided to basically have oral sex with each other. And she's like, and so from that point on, that's when God kicks them out. Like, you're only supposed to eat the natural fruits and veggies and different things that I give you, not through intercourse with another person. Why is this important? Because like we stated before, when you are absorbing somebody else's energy, you can take on the tree, right, of knowledge that contains good and evil, right? So let's just say that someone, like I said, Adam and Eve, they're engaged in doing all that stuff in oral sex, right? They are sharing energy with each other through the tree of good and evil. And basically from that point, they are absorbing knowledge subconsciously through how the body functions, how the world works, how things happen on this planet, how people are able to procreate, and also they're taking on the trauma of the other person. And that's why God said, you did this thing that I told you not to do. Now I'm going to curse you, and you're going to, wander naked in the desert while you're pregnant. And now you're going to have to defend yourself from this point on, because now you know the truth and the knowledge of God. You know the secrets of sex. You know the secrets of these things without getting my permission to do so. Now you know these different things, and that's why all of these sins are plaguing you up until the 21st century. So yeah, that is the purpose of that. So basically, Eve is technically Adam's second wife. Eve is Adam's second wife. So the reason why I consider myself a fan of Lilith is because personally, I fuck with her. Like, I fucks with the fact that she's like, nah, fuck that. You can't control me. You're not going to disrespect me. You're not going to violate me into your terms and conditions. And I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want to do. So I kind of feel like Lilith has a very virgin energy to her, which a lot of people aren't talking about. They just try to demonize her because she wants to become one with nature and she respects her feminine energy. So as much as people say, oh yeah, we come from Adam and Eve. Yeah, on some level that's true. But I feel like I'm the daughter of Lilith, in my opinion. When animals go extinct, it's because the last female dies. Ooh, interesting. We are the key to creation of the living. Girl, I swear I wish I could have this. I really just be wanting to talk to people. Like, I could have people call in or chime in or be like, oh yeah, let me join your live or something like that. So that way we can have these discussions, because people I don't think that women understand the vitality of how important we are, how important our mitochondrial DNA is, and how scientists are able to create stem cells and do all these different things with our DNA. Like, it's crazy that women just degrade themselves to the point to where they feel like they're at the bottom of the totem pole, and Black women feel like, oh, because I don't look like this, or because I don't look white, or because of this, I need to downgrade myself. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I would have to talk to my sisters all the time. I'd be like, let me tell you something. If you are a dark-skinned, beautiful African sister, you are the original. You are the original, sis. And you have lived longer. You have lived longer than anybody on this planet. And don't let nobody disrespect you and tell you who and what you should be and what you should accept in your life. That's bullshit. It's complete bullshit. We just live in a very polluted, toxic world. And I just kind of feel like maybe in this lifetime with how things are running, because in the pre-dynastic era, when women were actually running, civilizations, we had free energy, which means that people were operating cars, okay? They were operating cars, boats, aircraft, all on free energy. What does free energy consist of? These are natural elements that are inconducive to the earth, to where it can create natural, you can use, like the pyramids back in the day, they were using pyramids at that time in order to create levitation in aircrafts, or even using the water itself to fuel boats, or actually using let's just say, for instance, salt water to actually fuel your car. These were the things that were happening, and it didn't create any type of pollution in the world. It didn't create no type of, CO2 gas, no type of nitrogen dioxide poisoning, all this other crap that is under the male patriarchy. I'm just saying what it is. I'm not trying to say that all men are bad. I'm not trying to say all that. I just kind of feel like it just made sense when women were running the world, because this planet, and it's been proven that this planet belongs to us. So shouldn't we be the ones that create the rules? And like I said, maybe there are some women in some families that are okay with it. Cool, granted. But for the majority of the rest of the women that are like, no, guess what? I'm just like that queen bee, because that queen bee don't have no other queen bee up in her place. She only got herself, and maybe she procreates with a male, or maybe she procreates with another male in another season. But that hive belongs to her. Everything that she creates belongs to her. So I'm just trying to understand, how exactly does that work? It just don't make no damn sense to me, like how we got to this point to where people just don't respect our opinions when we are the ones that made everything on this planet. But yet I'm supposed to subscribe to your dominance and say that basically, since you have an ego, I need to ignore my truth and I need to ignore myself. But you want to, proclaim me to be the black woman, and oh, black woman is God. She's God. Yeah, black woman is God, but you get to dictate and make the rules on this planet. I find that to be strange. And under your reign of patriarchy that exists, why is everything dying on this planet? Why is everything going to shit on this planet? Why are people getting into so many different aspects of chaos on this planet ever since you took over? Just curious. The female energy has been severely emotionally and physically abused. We need to heal ourselves individually, healing will allow us to regain our true power. Absolutely. That's the reason why I've been to myself. You know what I'm saying? I've been to myself. I don't even bother with it. The pyramids were designed to be an energy system for this planet. This is a dark planet. It doesn't have a true sun. Interesting. Oh, I'd like to understand that theory. As far as like having a true sun, can you explain more about that? Because I find that to be interesting. Like that song says, this is a man world, but nothing without a woman, I'm assuming. Now, we made this. They can dominate it. They can say that they run shit, but we're the ones that actually birth this shit. And I kind of feel like on some aspects that maybe like I said, they often say yin and yang, right? So which means that they didn't say yang first. They said yin first. So I kind of feel like life is kind of like that wave of the yin and yang. You know what I'm saying? First, it starts off with the yin, the creation of woman. Has asexual capabilities to impregnate herself. Then eventually the X chromosome, which we have, which we own, and men can't survive without, are female attributes. That's why men have nipples and elongated clitorises and hanging ovaries in order to procreate. That came from us initially, right? But somehow it's gotten to the point where maybe it's men, maybe I don't know which ones, maybe it's these elitists, maybe it's these men that want to create technology to completely eradicate women from their psyche in order to try to procreate without them. And they never can do it. It's never going to be a thing. So, and if they do, the repatriation of that existence through some sort of computer generated GMO human doesn't have the sustainability to live as long as an African black woman, basically. Could the woman in those relationships be simply searching for sisterhood, but they find themselves in these relationships? It could be. It definitely could be. I think that that's definitely a thing. Like somebody was showing me, like I said, a post of this white couple, and they allowed a black woman to be a part of their relationship, right? Basically, the white dude was specifically procreating with her, right? With the black woman. I didn't see any children with the white lady. Maybe she can't have children, I don't know. But specifically, they had this black woman, and I'm just gonna tell y'all a little secret. With all these interracial relationships, I'm not trying to judge nobody that has interracial relationships. That's fine. People can do what they want to do. But I will tell you one thing. I've seen videos where white women have said that I'm specifically dating black guys because I want my children to survive in the future. And people don't even know the aspects of what they're getting themselves into. Basically, some people do fall in love. I'm not going to say that they don't. Maybe people do fall in love and have legitimate relationships. But there are people out there that will basically, that don't like black people, but know that for the sake of their own survival, that they will basically have children with a black woman, even though they're married to a white woman, just to make sure that their lineage or their existence will continue forward. Because they know that it's not going to happen, or they won't be able to survive on this planet the way that black people do, or people of color do, that have melanin in them. But yeah, let me see. Yeah, I just find it to be a little crazy. I just find this whole thing to be a little crazy. I just wanted to share my opinion. I'm so sorry that I couldn't get people to call in, but I feel like this is an important topic, and I wanted to kind of share my opinion and to kind of, you know, just go through the pros and cons of that, basically. So I appreciate you guys joining in on this discussion. I might do a reading for someone that just recently passed away, but I'm going to see if I can kind of look into it and see if people want me to do a reading on, what's his name? I can't remember his name. King... Oh my God, I cannot remember his name. And I just posted it. King Smoker or some shit. I can't remember his name. But somebody was just talking about how this person just passed today and they wanted me to do a reading on him. So I'm considering it. And he's like a friend of Dave East. There is one sun in this creation. It is over Mars. Somehow they are faking it, drawing its energy into it, into this planet. This is draining the real sun and affecting its ability to regenerate. Ah, so is that why people are trying to go back to Mars? Because they actually have pyramids on Mars? So I just kind of feel that's interesting. That's interesting. I wish we could definitely talk about that more, because I never knew anything about that. Because like I said, they have pyramids on Mars, and they would be able to like terraform the same energy into Mars and do all that other stuff on Mars with water. That's why they say that if you were to take the DNA of a black woman and actually put the black woman's DNA on the planet Mars, she would be able to terraform that planet and make it into an Earth planet, just the way that we live on this planet right now. So I find that to be interesting, that you can't do that with males, with black males. You can't do that with any other woman. You can't do it with a white woman. You can't do it with an Asian woman. You cannot do it with any other woman on this planet. And I'm not trying to be like racist. I'm not trying to say anything like that. I'm just speaking facts. This is factual information that I'm telling you guys. Because I had to be in a space to where I'm just like, well, why am I in a situation with patriarchy? And patriarchy is saying that I'm at the bottom of the totem pole. And I'm just like, maybe I need to do research on myself and who I am as a black woman and understand myself. Then when I realized it, I was like, oh, I'm a black woman. I created this shit. I created all this shit. I can actually go on to another planet by myself and create a new civilization by myself with my DNA. Even when I die and my DNA goes into the oceans or into the land will absorb it and give birth to me all over again. And no other woman can do that. No other woman on this planet can do that. That's why I lock my hair. Okay? Black women's hair is coarse, it's kinky, and it coils. Okay? Our hair, it coils. Okay? My hair is a little dry, but you know, it coils. That's our natural hair. Do you know why it coils? Because it's coiling in the same aspects that the sun and other planets rotate around and coils through the universe. We are the universe. That's why I identify as Hathor, because I've researched myself. And I just kind of feel like it's time. We're getting into a space where there's been too much white men, like I said, at the top of the totem pole, trying to dominate everything and trying to suppress us and keep us down here, when we're the ones that are holding down the foundation in order for other people to be successful above us. And now it's time for it to be like this. We need to turn the pyramid upside down to where the majority of Black women or people that support Black women and support the feminine energy at the top. And we're the ones that are healing the planet. We're the ones that are governing how families should run. We're the ones talking about science and architecture and technology. I often said that to myself. I'm like, so basically men have been running this planet and we live in these square homes, right? And basically if a tornado or a hurricane hits, the homes are damaged. But since you want to put it in an infrastructure to where you are the line and the woman is the circle, okay? And you see tornadoes and hurricanes that attack in circular form, just like the feminine energy is a circle. Why aren't you creating homes in a circle to make sure that there are like yurts or their teepees? They were round in order to prevent them from having damages from tornadoes. When women in the Native American cultures were ran by matriarchies, the woman was the one who chose her husband. The woman was the one who said, you're going to take my name. Keep that in mind. So these are things that I just feel like, you know, I felt like I just needed to share. Mars is the first habitant planet in this creation. So if Mars is the first habitant in this creation, would that mean that Mars is like basically Eden? I'm just kind of curious. Like, I'm just kind of wondering if Mars was initially Eden and basically God decided to destroy that planet and then just said, we're just going to create Earth and see if these people can actually function on planet Earth. You know what I'm saying? Because they done fucked up the first time. You know, they didn't get it right the first time. And they allowed that patriarchal bullshit to poison our waters, to poison our food, to kill off animals, to completely dismantle the woman's world, basically, in order to destroy it. And I'm sorry, like, the Y DNA has been created, and forgive me, like I said, all men are not like this. I'm not saying all people are like this, and I'm not saying all women are good women. I'm not saying that at all, and that we're all innocent at all. No, because there's women that still enforce this patriarchal aspects of control and dominance over women. Women are one of the biggest culprits in securing that male dominance exists in order to abuse women and their power. And I just kind of feel like women look out into the world and they say, well, if I have no power and my voice is not being heard as a Black woman or as a woman in general, then yeah, I might as well probably deal with a man who will put and still put me in a situation to where they're dominating over my point of view because they have multiple wives or they can do whatever they want to do and they have more freedoms than I do, and they'll be able to get through life better than I do. This is all about a Masonic agenda, in my opinion. I don't give a fuck if you believe or agree with polygamy or not. I kind of feel like when it comes down to the Masonic agenda, the point is to make the black woman look like an evil goat or to look like a beast because she's able to procreate without the man. And so they mock that aspect of the black woman and hang black men from crosses because they know that they have a Christ consciousness within them. And that's why they do these demonic satanic rituals through the KKK, because Albert Pike actually created the KKK, and he's very much a part of the government and being able to create government aspects into this white dominant patriarchal aspects of dominance over women. I don't care how you put it. I feel like it's still a political aspect in order to control women, whether if it's through a monotheistic point of view or through a polygamous point of view. And I feel like from a polygamous point of view, that's when men can still use that dominance to tell women what to do and to keep them submissive. And that's why all of these religions exist today, to try to diminish a black woman. For instance, people will sit there and they'll talk about, oh, Allah, right? The word Allah comes from the word alat. The word alat means womb. So technically, when people are sitting there thinking that they're praying to a man, they're praying to a woman. They're praying to a womb. When they actually go into prayer, they bend down into a fetus and go into a fetus form. So I just, like I said, I just want people to kind of like, I feel like I've dropped a lot of jewels tonight. And I just kind of feel like I wanted to share that. And I feel like I'm okay with people like, you know, sharing this video with other woke or conscious men out there, because I really want to challenge them. And I went on this one dude's channel, I can't remember his name, but he was talking about, oh, you're just, you know, polygamy and all this other stuff. And I just said, Yahshua only had one wife. And he got offended. And he couldn't even rebuttal what my statement was. He just said, oh, you're just jealous, or you have to grow up and evolve yourself. No, I don't have to do a fucking thing, because technically my brain capacity is much larger than yours, nigga, and I've lived longer than you. So don't come for me and act like you trying to say that I'm God, but then you have the audacity to tell me how the fuck I'm supposed to govern myself in respect to your ignorance and into your desires and pleasures. I find that to be stupid. I ain't gonna be no side hoe for nobody. I ain't finna be no second wife to no bitch. I ain't finna do none of that bullshit. I don't need all of the income in the world to look like I'm the richest person in the world with 10 other bitches behind me, making you look like a pimp. I'm not with it. I'm not down with it. I don't need all of that. Because if it's really about love, then that's what it would be about. Unconditional love. That's about trust. And it's about genuine creation with, you know, working with your partner, no matter what they have, no matter how wealthy they are, or, you know, it's just this delusional fantasy or this delusional perversion of how polygamy is generalized in our culture, regardless through marriage or not. It just kind of signifies that people are supposed to embrace being a hoe, and I'm just not with it. I just don't like it. And I feel like women need to stand up and no longer tolerate that shit. And I'm going to be one of those women that just don't tolerate that shit. Like, if you coming to me and you want to be with me, oh nigga, you better believe that all them other hoes or all them other people, you better be cutting them the fuck off, because I ain't dealing with it, bruh. I'm the wrong one. You best to believe that. Yeah, I'm a black woman, I'm a god. Oh yeah, I'm a black woman, I'm God. You so beautiful, sis. You a queen. You this and you that, nigga. Yeah, well, you better step to me appropriately, because you already know that in my mind, in my brain, that the black woman, her brain and her capacity is much larger than your impotent brain. So don't test me. So anyway, let me see. The story has a lot of twists and turns. It needs to be told in clarity to avoid confusion. Absolutely. I feel you. I would love to talk about that with you, truly. Let's see. I'm sorry. Exactly how I feel. That's how I feel about a queen. I'm glad. I'm so happy that you guys feel the same way that I feel. Like I said, maybe it might work for some people. Maybe it might work. I'm not trying to say that. I just don't feel like I can be in a position to trust a man and his other hoes from not bringing some bullshit back to me, or doing some old extra shit with a bitch being jealous and trying to harm my children because I'm first wife. Nigga, you got me fucked up. I'm not playing the game. Not playing the game. I refuse to play the game. It just doesn't make any sense, because in the creation story, in the original creation story, one man, one woman. period. And they were equal. Even though Lilith, as a woman, has more DNA and biological proof and sustainability on this planet over Adam. Not Adam, Lilith, and Eve. No, Lilith left. She ain't dealing with that polygamous shit. She said, fuck that nigga, bye. I'm about to go do my own thing. You can go ahead and make a bum bitch out of that next hoe if you want to. But she ain't never gonna be me. She ain't gonna be the original. It's like basically saying Adam is just like, oh, fuck that. Well, I don't need Eve. I mean, I don't need Lilith, right? So basically you disregard and this is what they do in this society today. They disregard the original black woman and basically go get a substitute that can never compare to the original black Lilith or the black Eve, right? They can never compare to the first. But they want to fashion a woman out of their own rib in order to maintain dominance over her, even though she's far more intelligent and her DNA is far more superior than Adam's. Damn, we need a polygamist in this to create contrast. I want to hear the other side too. Absolutely. And I think that maybe people will watch this video. Maybe other people who are polygamists will start to join the video because I want to have a healthy discussion and a debate with them. And maybe I can do that for like round 2 if there's another person that wants to basically debate with me. I love debating with people. There's no contrast. I mean, yeah, I was expecting to have some sort of contrast in here, but apparently I don't know too many polygamous people. And usually I'm assuming the polygamous men that support that don't want to hear it from a woman that's telling them you're wrong. You are wrong. And that's how I feel because I'm the creator God and I'm telling you you're wrong. Basically, they want to copy homework without doing the homework. Absolutely. Yes, they do. But it's not the original. You are so welcome. Like I said, if y'all want to share this video to like people like Polite, all them other woke conscious niggas out there that claim that they know what they're talking about, don't tell me black woman is God. Come speak to a black woman that really wants to challenge what you have to say, because I'll gladly do it. And I'm going to gladly speak up and say how I feel, because I'm tired of these men saying black woman is God, but they don't want to respect our rules. They don't want to respect how we move. So I appreciate y'all. I'm going to end this live. Thank you all for joining. I'm glad that we can have this discussion, and I'm going to have a couple of other videos coming up. We're going to talk about some things in the news on Thursday, basically. I think I might title it that. Things in the news Thursdays or some shit, you know, because people want to have these general discussions, and I feel like I want to share my mind or share my opinion with you guys, and hopefully the tablet works and we can get y'all to call in. But thank you all so much. I might be doing a reading after this, might not, I don't know, I'll find out. But love you all. Thank you for support. Thank you for being here and having this healthy discussion. Email me, follow me, subscribe to me, tell people about me. Love y'all. Peace out.